As with any of the visible nodes, you can set text, images, and sounds for a modify node. Modifiers are similar to punishments and rewards, but don't quite fit into either category. You can do all sorts of things with a modifier node. You can customize encounters, you can add enemies, take control of enemies, or change the enemies that are going to appear within a tile set. You can also change the loot tables for a run. You can add party members, you can send them to the bench or force them active, you can enforce party size maximums. You can grant certain charms as a reward. You can control interactable props that will appear in the next level. You can remove modifications. You can even actually set the tips that are going to appear in the pause menu in case you have special mechanics that you'd like to tooltip for your campaign. And you can, of course, control the difficulty, and you can even change the cosmetics here for the next level. Now let's select a common modifier to see how it's used. We'll focus on how to add enemy packs to a run. So under enemies, we're going to select enemy database. As with most punishments and rewards, with a lot of modifiers, you can set the duration type. If the duration type allows for it, you can set the duration over here by sliding this bar. You can set it to permanent to affect the rest of the run. Then we're going to select which types of enemies we'd like to include. For now, we'll just select a pack. So I'm going to click this specific pack button, and we will go ahead and select a pack. If I wanted to add more packs, I can click this plus button and continue to add more packs. But now let's come back up here and look at what kind of combined type we're going to want. Right now it's set to add. That means that all of the enemies that would normally show up would show up, and the enemies that I add in this pack would also show up. I can choose override if I want only these enemies in the Street Gang pack to show up. The priority here is really just in case you're going to have multiple modifiers that are active here. Sometimes you're going to want to override the previous override for just one level, so that makes it easy to just set the priority higher than the last. And the global chance allows you to ignore the enemy's encounter data that might specify which tile sets and rooms they would typically appear in. While this is checked on, the enemy pack selected will be added to the next level, regardless of what that level might be. It won't take the rooms into account. You can also control how commonly they're going to appear here. That would be more important, of course, if you only had set it to add, or if you had chosen perhaps a multiple different packs, you're stringing them together. As with punishments and rewards, you can set it to hidden, so when the player comes across this node, they won't actually see it. The modifier would just be placed automatically. In such a case, remember that they're going to have to select the node beyond it before this node will actually come into effect. If this node was a level, then the modifier would be applied as you enter this level. So in this case, our Street Gang would be added to this random level regardless of what that level might be. Since I have it set to add, it would also include the enemies that were native to that level. I could set it to override if I want it to just be the Street Gang that shows up in this level. And finally, you can also add an identification tag to a modifier so you can remove it later on. More information on tags in that video.